Hey everyone, a moment of silence for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. who after 7 seasons is leaving us. It's the end of an era, and an era I'm frankly not ready to see go, like, at all. I want 5 more seasons. Now, get to it. Chop chop. I'm starting a GoFundMe petition to save the show. Links will be down in the description. Somehow I don't think my pleas will be answered or taken very seriously. Anyway, over 7 seasons we have got some incredible characters that have grown alongside the show. They're characters that I love and have kind of grown up with. I mean, I was 14 when the show started. How mad is that? Oh my god, I'm getting old. This is where I have my quarter life crisis. I go buy like a new car, start like dyeing my hair crazier colours. You can't tell, but I decided to bleach the ends of my hair and it didn't go well. In the front it's not bleached, but in the back it is. Watching these characters evolve over the years has been an experience. And again, I'm just not ready to let any of them go. While I want and would love for all of my favourite characters to reappear in the Marvel properties, today's video is just focusing on one. Mary Sue, Skye, Daisy. She goes by many different names. You might know her as Quake. You probably know her as Daisy, actually. Daisy has been with us since the very beginning. Started off as a hacktivist orphan searching for her family, eventually turning into a fully fledged Inhuman S.H.I.E.L.D. agent with a found family. Even though we've been on this journey for 7 seasons with Daisy, I don't think that's enough. Quake's story hasn't been fully explored yet, and in my mind it's far from over. Let's just not cancel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Let's bring it to Disney Plus. Let's have some new, like, seasons. If only. But I'm pretty sure they've started auctioning off props. And I had a look. The shotgun axe is a bit out of my price range. By a bit, I mean a lot. The Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. continuity within the MCU is a weird one. The early seasons are definitely in line with the movies. The Sokovia Accords and Ultron are mentioned and referenced. The later seasons of the show go off course, but I'm pretty sure Thanos is hinted at one point, unless that was a fever dream and he was my sleep paralysis demon. Anyway, I'm pretty confident that this is all in the MCU, which means Daisy could appear in up-and-coming films or TV shows. To solve the continuity, it's pretty simple. Multiverse. The multiverse is a very well established thing in the MCU, so are different timelines. The next Doctor Strange is literally called Into the Multiverse of Madness. Doctor Strange, WandaVision, I think even Loki are going to explore multiverses and different timelines and everything that could, if Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are on a different timeline, bring them back to the main timeline. Or I don't know, maybe they're still on the correct timeline. Who knows anymore? When I first thought of Daisy's role away from AOS and into the MCU films, I thought of a Maria Hill type role, but much more involved and present within the group. Being a leader is a part of Daisy's code. I previously made a video on who I think should lead the Avengers going into the next phase, shameless plug, but I never mentioned Daisy. I mentioned Maria Hill as a possible candidate to lead, but I failed to mention Daisy, who's a well-trained agent with superhuman powers that can lead a group. We've seen her do it with tag teams, and with her powers she can relate to members of the Avengers. My bad for not mentioning her. Like I said, Daisy can relate to Avengers, especially the members with powers. Having the burden of extraordinary powers is no easy thing. That's why I said burden. We've seen Daisy bottle her emotions. She feels guilty due to the damage her powers cause. Something that certain members can relate to. I just realised you might actually hear that in the background. That's my washing machine. I was like, oh, let's put a wash on. You'll never hear it. Fucking takes over half the video. I have yet to see the new season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm not sure when it comes out in the UK. Unfortunately, I have been spoiled majorly. I won't say anything on here just in case you guys are waiting to watch it. But I have been, some things have been spoiled, which is super annoying. But it's not out in the UK yet, so I haven't seen it fully. And I don't know how the show is going to end. So depending on that, I assume Mac is still going to be the leader and the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. or whatever S.H.I.E.L.D. will turn into, Sword or whatever. It'd be kind of cool to see him meet Nick Fury and, you know, because he is the director. So with Mac being the leader of S.H.I.E.L.D. potentially, I don't know, for Daisy to become the new Coulson or new leader for the Avengers makes sense to me. It's like Coulson passing down the torch to her, which would be really cool and the cutest father-daughter relationship ever. She's had plenty of experience to lead a team, but if leading is not on the cards for her, then what about just being a member? Take a deep breath, close your eyes, and imagine Quake fighting side by side with Black Widow, the Avengers. Just imagine that. It would be pretty badass. She has the added bonus of being an Inhuman, gifted with an impressive set of powers. Vibration manipulation. That was fun to say, vibration manipulation. She can create shockwaves or start earthquakes, hence the name Quake. Daisy is a superhero in her own right, just as strong as the others and perhaps better trained. She doesn't have to rely on her powers, she's been trained by Melinda May herself. So hypothetically, she could kick your ass while hacking a secret government agency at the same time. Daisy's time with S.H.I.E.L.D. would make her an asset anyway. Why hasn't a crossover happened? I understand like Robert Downey Jr. and all probably didn't want to go on TV, which is dumb, but I don't understand how none of the TV have moved on to the movies. Like, come on! If we don't see Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. merge into main continuity, I'll be writing a very strongly worded letter to Kevin Feige, who much like Thanos has collected every faction of Marvel Studios under his belt. Speaking of that, now that Kevin's in charge of everything, he probably has final say on everything, and he seems like the type of guy that wants the Marvel Universe to be as connected as possible. So fingers crossed for continued adventures for our favourite characters. Ghost Rider, I want a Ghost Rider TV show. Super dumb you cancelled it. And don't recast it, because I've heard that maybe they're recasting it. I probably will do a video on this, but don't recast it unless you're casting Johnny Blaze. Don't recast Robbie. With the fandom for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. being very much still there, I think it would be extremely dumb to just get rid of all these rich characters that we've spent seasons getting to know and love. Daisy is an already established character in the universe with 7 seasons worth of backstory to her name. So you don't even have to do an origin in the movies or the new shows to introduce her. With new shows on Disney Plus that must be watched to understand the wider Marvel universe, it's not crazy to think you should watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to understand. And anyway, why should Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. be any different from Hawkeye or WandaVision? We are 22 movies, 3-ish shows in. They can't constantly keep reminding us who each character is. They have to trust that we've been watching everything. That's what they did in Endgame. They didn't hold your hand. And if you hadn't seen anything before Endgame, you were pretty much fucked going into that movie. Which is why I made my mum and dad watch all 22 movies before Endgame. We're currently on season 5 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and they're actually super invested. I didn't think they would be. Like, my dad doesn't say Coulson, he says Phil, like they're old friends. Like, there was a scene where Coulson did something and I just looked at my dad and he was like, how could you, Phil? Phil, why? Why would you do that? He's not real. I hope they know that. So feel free to add Daisy to the new Avengers, because you won't need to reintroduce her, because you should watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to understand her bigger picture. And if you don't want to watch that show, that's not their problem. People did actually watch Endgame before watching any other MCU film, so a character appearing from a TV show they mightn't have seen shouldn't be that big of a problem. I'm not saying you can't go, this is Agent Johnson, you know, and explain that she's an Inhuman. That's pretty obvious stuff that maybe you need to explain to other characters for them to be introduced to her, but you don't need to go, this is Agent Johnson, she's basically Coulson and May's daughter. These are her biological parents. This is what happened in season 2, episode 5. This is who she fell in love with. Whoops, he died. Do you know what I mean? This is who she should have ended up with, because the chemistry, because I had to rewatch season 4, the chemistry in the last episode. Oh god. If you don't want to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. but want to keep up to date with the MCU, you're gonna have to start watching the Disney Plus shows. Because if you missed WandaVision, you're not gonna understand what's gonna happen in Doctor Strange 2. That's how it's going now. So it's not crazy to think that maybe you should watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Apart from the Avengers, which I really heavily believe she should be in, and I'll riot if she's not, there is one new Disney Plus show that I believe Daisy would be really good in, and I really want her in, and that's Miss Marvel. The show was announced at D23 last year. Kamala is traditionally an Inhuman who went through Terrigenesis. She's helped by Medusa and Lockjaw a little, but with the failure of that show, I doubt any of those iterations of the characters will make an appearance. But you know who can? You probably see where I'm going with this. Daisy. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. literally had seasons focused on Inhumans. Daisy is one. There's another reason to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. If you want to watch Miss Marvel and you want to understand Inhumans more, watch season 2 to 3 maybe? You can watch all of it, but I'm pretty sure season 2 to 3 are heavily Inhuman based. It all is, but if you want to understand it, and how maybe the Terrigen crystals got out, because I'm hoping they use the same format, because that would be dumb if they don't, because they've got it already served on a plate and explained for them. Then watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Miss Marvel is a perfect way to reintroduce Daisy. She could be a mentor to Kamala, teach her how to use and control her powers. It gives Kamala someone to look up to, other than Captain Marvel, of course. As a fangirl, I could easily see Kamala freaking out over meeting Quake, like she would if she met Captain Marvel or anyone else, which would be me if I got to meet anyone from AOS. The pair can relate to one another, both feeling lost and frightened after their power gain. At least with Daisy there, she won't be alone. Maybe Yo-Yo can make an appearance too. At the end of the day, it all depends on the actors, whether Chloe would want to come back. I'm pretty sure I've read articles where she's expressed that she'd be happy to come back and play Quake again, which would be really exciting. And with Kevin Feige being in charge of everything now, I think there's a bit more hope that everything's going to be more connected, so maybe he will bring some characters from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. into the main Marvel universe, introduce Daisy to Hulk, or so everyone I want to say is dead, which is such a bummer because it would have been cool to see her and Black Widow interact. Daisy to like the rest of the Avengers. I just really don't want them to waste these characters, especially Daisy, because she basically is a superhero already. She's well established. And I'd love to see Fitzsimmons and Coulson and Mac and Yo-Yo and everyone back. Fitzsimmons, I don't know how the season's gonna end, but I have a feeling they need a break. Like, just take a couple of like years vacation away from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't mean the actors, I mean the characters. The characters need a break. So does Daisy, to be fair. But Daisy to me is one of those characters that I feel like would keep working until she physically couldn't. Like I said, I'd love to see everyone back. I don't want Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to end because it's just been such a big part of my life, and that sounds really dumb because it is dumb, but like it's a TV show that I've enjoyed since I was 14, you know? Like if I was having a hard day at school, I'll come home and I'll laugh at Fitz. That sounds really mean, but normally it was Fitz or Hunter and Bobby, and now it's ending. It's kind of bittersweet, but then on the other end, I don't want them to run the characters into the ground and ruin them, because 7 seasons for a TV show is amazing. It's really, really, really good. And a show that it hasn't dipped in quality, so it's a bummer it's ending, but I understand why. And I hope the actors want to come back. But again, like 7 years of their life, maybe they want to move on and do other stuff, which, you know, I wouldn't blame them. But also like come back. There's also been talk of a Sword TV show, which would be kind of cool, and Nick Fury will be at the helm. I also think that that's a good way of bringing back Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. characters. They could bring Bobby back. Bobby and Hunter maybe. They're on the run, but Nick Fury is basically a god at this point, so. And he could always have some Skrulls pretend to be them, to like keep other agencies off their trail. Anyway, I'm getting ahead. but it would be kind of cool to just see them, and I want to see them mentioned at least. I want to see Bruce know who Daisy is. I want to see them acknowledge Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which they didn't do in any of the other movies, but Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. really heavily acknowledged them, and it's just sucky. Alright, my last point, I promise, and then I'll end it. It would also be cool to see a bit of Phil in the MCU still. Obviously Phil was our main agent for the first start of the movies, and then obviously Nick Fury kind of became more prominent, and Natasha and Maria and everyone, but he was our main agent. So it'd be kind of cool to see if Clark Gregg doesn't come back, or does, I don't know how they'll reintroduce him. It depends when the season ends. Then it'd be cool to see Daisy, because Daisy is basically his daughter, and it'd just be cool to see a little bit of Phil still in the MCU. Anyway, that's it. Yeah. Basically, to sum it up, I want Daisy in the Avengers. I don't know who the next Avengers are going to be, apart from our regulars. Sound like a bar owner. It'd be really cool. If they do Young Avengers, maybe that's something that she could do as well, be the leader of that. I don't mean like in the group, because she's maybe not a young Avenger, but lead the group as in like a Nick Fury type role for them. But come on, Marvel, step it up. Next week's video, or the week after, I'm definitely going to do one, will be about Ghost Rider, because I am gutted that they've cancelled it. Especially after rewatching season 4, because I knew they were doing a TV show, and I've only recently found out they cancelled it because I wasn't keeping up to date, which is stupid of me, and I'm gutted. And they were on about doing a movie with a certain actor, and I hope that this certain actor will be Johnny Blaze, which I think is pretty obvious he would be, but would acknowledge that he helped someone else, just to like kind of hint at Robbie. I don't know. We'll talk more about that next week. I'll stop rambling now. I hope you guys are staying safe, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know down below what you think about this whole thing. Do you think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. should merge with the main continuity now, and you'll see Daisy or Fitz and Simmons or Mac or Yo-Yo pop up every now and again, or May? Let me know down below what you think about that. Anyway, I make videos like this every single week, so if you want to subscribe, click the subscribe button, pretty self-explanatory, and click that bell if you want to be notified when I upload. I tend to upload on a Tuesday, but just in case I don't, you might want to click that bell. Video suggestions, please let me know down below, because I probably will do them. I hope you guys are all staying safe, and I will see you next time.